good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sports Roundtable. I'm Marty Fuhrer in for Tom Lamont. Tom will return to this chair next week. This week, we want to take a look at 4 area teams that get ready for conference play next week, and we want to start off with the undefeated Wildcats over at New Hanover, who are having a great start, and they begin conference play this coming Friday at South Brunswick. And we have 2 of the defensive standouts with us, Nas Brown and Troy McGaskill. And welcome aboard, guys. And I know you guys were off this week, didn't have any action, but you've got to be pleased with the start for this unit so far.
Yes, sir. We got a little break this week, but the last couple of weeks, I can say we well deserved that break from what we had went through and our 4 tough games. So, but we're ready for this week coming up.
Talk a little bit about this team. Good feel for this unit, don't you?
We have a great senior group, all around, just offense and defense side of the ball. Great leadership that helps us bring towards the fight on Friday nights.
We're going to take a look at highlights in a second, but why don't we talk a little bit about going into this season? I know expectations are always high, and you said this is a solid senior group. That carries, I guess, basically from summer right into the first game, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. A couple of us played since we were sophomores, and our goal always been just to get to states. But first we got to handle the conference, but we went to first game knowing that we got to do whatever it does to take to win this championship. So we got a couple tough teams, and we got through the hard ones. So now we got to take a next step into this conference.
Good stuff. Let's take a look at some highlights if we can. Again, the Wildcats off to a great start this year. And as we take a look, guys, this contest coming up. Again, a big defensive hit coming up front. Remember which game this is?
This is Garner.
Right. Garner, a good test for you, obviously.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you like how difficult your non-conference schedule is each year?
Yes, sir. We've been with a lot of plenty hard teams, and
It definitely helps us during, all in all, getting ready for conference, because the conference play here is no light at all, and it gets us ready for it.
Again, we see great penetration. Now, both of you guys play defense.
Yes,
What do you
sir.
like about defense?
you get I don't know. It's just like a man game when it comes down to defense. You get to step up, smash heads, and just take out whatever you want on the field.
It's good because we all have one goal, just to fly around and everybody get to the ball at one time.
Now, we were mentioning before we started the fact that you guys have played with leads and you've been able to turn it over to the offense. That's got to allow you defensively really to be aggressive.
Yes, sir. Our goal is always be a 3 and out, so we won't be tired and we get offense the ball and we're back on the field.
Again, great penetration by this defense. Turnovers in the area, like 6 turnovers. You've got a couple, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When you go out there, do you look for turnover opportunities? Do you try to strip the ball? What's taught?
Yeah, that'd be my goal. The first, third video, I think it was me. I kind of missed the tackle, but I regained.
Right.
My goal was try to strip the ball. That'd be kind of my goal, is to try to get a fumble or a strip and try to get a turnover so we get off the field.
Now, you mentioned that aggressiveness on the defensive side, but you also obviously have to stay disciplined as far as your assignments. Talk a little bit about the balance between the aggressiveness that you need and also realizing that you're part of a defensive unit out there with specific assignments.
You definitely have to hold your own, be smart about what you're doing out there. Yes, you have to bring the aggression, you have to bring it, but also know what's in front and what's in stake here.
Okay. Just the mindset of this group, did it all begin in camp or did it begin when last year ended? Because you guys are seniors, how do you feel it's carried into that senior year for you?
It's like we all have that chemistry of trying to get somewhere and trying to build a legacy, and I think we all want to leave our mark. And so the class of 2018, we all have a goal, and I think we've been had that goal for a long, long time.
Okay. Now you're now a 3A school as far as classification, but winning that conference championship is still always the #1 goal.
Yes, sir, always.
Okay. So playing the city schools, now you're at South Brunswick, and obviously you need to take the first step there, and especially being on the road for a conference game will be interesting. But you still look forward to those city matchups, Laney, Ashley, Hoggard.
Yeah.
just talk of the town. So
Talk of the town. So, as seniors, would you say is the, I guess going to the States obviously would be the accomplishment, but short-range goals, what kind of goals do you have each week when you come out? For example, against South Brunswick, what are some of the things defensively that you want to establish early?
Mistakes from our last games is our goals to correct. So like penalties, the little small things that we need to know in order to take the next step.
And also the rushing and passing yards.
Okay.
Want to limit that as much as possible, just to get the offense back on the field and get points on the board.
Is that your number one priority, to get off the field each time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. In the 30 seconds that we have left, talk a little bit about what it means to play, because you mentioned you're both from Wilmington. You understand what it means to play for New Hanover. But as a senior group, what are the things that you want to leave this team when teams look back at this year? What do they want to talk about when you think about New Hanover?
A lot of classes left a lot of things to talk about, and our goal is to talk about being 16-0. That's our huge goal. So we want to leave a mark, just like a lot of other teams left a mark, and we want everyone to talk about how Class 93, the team Trayvon played for. We all want that same goal, that everyone talk about this year's team.
Also, just how like we just fly around and have fun. Mainly, just get after someone and just play with the best of our ability.
Winning makes it fun too, doesn't it?
Yes,
It does. All right, so first conference game coming up this coming Friday when the Wildcats visit South Brunswick, and again travel down to the Southport area to see New Hanover in action this coming Friday night. Show will continue right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. Well, let's swing over to Hoggard. The Vikings coming off a big victory to remain undefeated through 4 weeks. And Coach, you know, when you schedule teams, sometimes you don't know what you expect. Boy, Sweat comes up 3-0. They're usually not undefeated when you get them on the schedule, are they?
Yeah, you know, you always know you're going to get a big physical team with
Yeah.
Purnell Sweat, but yeah, I mean, them coming in at 3-0, and Carolina Forest have just been undefeated. Orange, obviously, a really strong program. The non-conference schedule was a big challenge, and I was just really proud that our guys answered the way they have.
I think you've got to also be pleased with, you know, defensively, you're doing a good job giving your offense good field position and causing turnovers.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we've really, when we looked at last season transitioning to this season, you know, we just said we got to recommit our emphasis on tackling and just, you know, basic defensive fundamentals over scheme, and our kids have responded extremely well, and the tackling is the biggest difference from last year to this year, and it's showing on Friday nights.
Okay, Craig, let's take a look at the highlights if we can.
All right.
Again, we're swinging over to Hoggard for first quarter action.
Yeah, this is us. This is actually the first punt that we forced. It's Reese Moulton, Rover safety, coming through and getting a great block for us. You mentioned setting up field position, you know, getting a short field there for us to start with. Then coming back on the defensive side here is Brooks Carey, junior defensive end. He's just getting better each week, so really pleased with his output. Very, very active player.
Seems like you're getting good push up front.
Yeah, we are. I tell you, our defensive tackles have done great. This is Josh Jones to Evan Manning, our H-back. You know, H-back, a lot of time, he's kind of that glorified pulling guard. So for Evan to go get a really physical touchdown there, I was just so happy. Cool moment for him. You can see the team really rallying around. Just excited for him to get in the end zone one time there. Still on the offensive end, Chris Tootle made the move to wide receiver. Just a big target, fast target. He's done a great job. He really came into his own a little more this week. It's a big time catch there. He had several throughout the game. He was our leading receiver in the game.
How important was the decision and even his acceptance of that new role?
Oh, it was big. You know, he's played quarterback on the JV for the last 2 years, and you know, having a senior quarterback coming back, we just told him, you know, you're too good of an athlete to not be in. So he's done really well. That was Jeremiah Kim making a field goal, and then back on the defensive side here, Christian Holler with a great pass rush, Mackenzie Frazier deflecting the screen, and then here's Isaiah Kemp. Isaiah's just continued to get better and better at corner. He's shut down some really good receivers this year, so really proud of him. He's getting on that national recruit stage. I think he's got some big opportunities coming his way. This is John Bennett. Lloyd Giroux, our tailback, got hurt in the game, and that was, obviously a big concern was us having, all these running backs are new this year, including Lloyd. So John Bennett with a catch there, and then here's Kenneth Marshall, who made the move from linebacker to running back, coming from JV to varsity, and is just doing a great job. You see a little burst there, well drawn up play by Coach Demick and the offensive staff there.
Great job by that right side of the line too.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's Mason McKeithen and Donovan Simmons. Those guys doing a good job. So Isaiah had an interception on the other side, and here's our young corner, Tayshawn James. I say young, they're both juniors. We're very lucky in our secondary right now. So some young guys starting, but they are executing. Again, pass rush. That's Cameron Kite, Daniel Eason. There's a lot of names, guys flying around the quarterback, kind of wreaking havoc in those offensive backfields. So, we're preaching it and they're executing it. So this is our final score. This is just so happy for this young man. This is Drew Medley. Austin Edwards, our starting tight end, got banged up in practice. And Drew stepped in, took all the snaps at tight end this week, had 2 big catches, including that touchdown right there.
So you've mentioned a couple of guys that have had to come off the bench because of injuries or whatever. That has to speak well of the depth this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you, just guys, you're always one play away, and everybody, I think every staff preaches that, but guys have had the opportunity to step into game roles and have responded well. So
you mentioned the non-conference schedule. Kind of builds the block as you head into conference play.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, we have in the last 2 years, honestly, we've been 2-4 and 1-4 coming out of our non-conference, and this year I think is debatably the toughest non-conference we've had. So to come out 4-0, again, we approach some things differently, and just, it's a credit to the work that the players have put in, to a great spring, big time summer, and just showing up each week, learning the game plan and playing fast.
So you mentioned each week it's been somebody and-o. You get the same thing this week. All of a sudden you go to Topsail, a very confident physical football team.
That's it. I tell you, their run game is as good as anybody we've seen on film. A couple of really good backs, offensive lines, really well coached. They've got a quarterback that's kind of dual threat, and he runs the ball well. So we got our hands full with opening conference with Topsail.
So for you to be successful, what's the first thing you've got to establish?
I tell you, I think it's got to be a physical game. Again, tackling on the defensive side, but offensively, I think we just got to continue to attack the whole field, make them defend the whole field, make them, stop our inside power game, but also defend that flank. So,
and if you look at their tape, they're causing turnovers.
Yes,
so you would think ball security may be one of the big factors as far as who comes out of this.
No doubt. Again, it's blocking, tackling, and ball security. That's every week. And then who's going to win special teams? Who's going to win special teams? We've done a good job each week so far of getting the upper hand in special teams. So we've got to continue that.
Okay, so that's a big one. Just up the road a little bit in Hampstead, it's the Vikings against the Pirates. First conference game out. 2 undefeated football teams. We'll continue on right after this. Welcome back to the program. Halfway through, speaking of teams that had off weeks, Laney is coming off an off week, and like everyone else, getting right into conference play. So let's meet a couple of the players that are part of this year's Bucks teams. That's 2-2 after the first 4 games played. Josh Belton, along with Matt Bryan, and welcome aboard. Why don't we talk a little bit, guys, about you're heading into conference play. What's the feel for this team after 4 weeks of football?
After 4 weeks, we've basically our team's been coming together more often, and we're starting to become a better, well-organized machine. And because thanks to Coach Yeoman's help, we have that mental intensity, so we can play on and keep going.
Okay, you're in an interesting situation with it. You're a senior.
Yes, sir.
Play on the offensive line.
Yes, sir.
Yet, this is your first year playing
Correct.
football at Laney.
Yes, sir.
What was it like as far as Coach Yeoman's camp this year? Eye-opening a little bit?
Yes, sir. It was eye-opening, and it was also what I expected. It was tough and it was physical, but it was a great time, and I learned a lot, especially from Coach Yeoman and just being around all the players.
So you played baseball?
Yes, sir.
What was the trigger that said, hey, I'm going to play football as a senior?
Well, I just liked the physical aspect of it, and I felt like I had something I could offer the team, and just hard work and dedication.
So you're an O-lineman.
Yes, sir.
You like that one-on-one confrontation?
Yes, I do. I like to be very physical, and it's a good time.
Okay. And part of your job is to give the quarterback time to throw to this guy. Talk a little bit about what do you like about wideout?
I like being able to just be in one-on-one, to be head competitive with my corner, and basically it also gives me time to like see what other things have to offer. Like right now, Coach Yeoman during the bye week, we went to slot a little bit, and then so I can play both now, and it's just been eye-opening and overwhelming sometimes, but I can handle it. It seems pretty easy.
So if we're watching a game and the ball's thrown at you, obviously all eyes go there. But let's say 3 out of 4 snaps, it's going somewhere else or they're running the ball. Talk about the individual discipline that you have to keep, because 1, you still have to block, and 2, you still have to run your routes, because if all of a sudden there's a breakdown, they need to know where you are.
So basically, if we're doing a run play, Coach Yeoman and Coach Barcy has told us to always block and make sure that we don't let go of our team, that player, because it could be coming to our side or it could be coming to the opposite side. Either way, you have to make sure it's block. You block your player. And when we're running our routes, we run our routes hard and make sure we make no mistake. And if we need to break free, then Coach Bobby has helped us with getting off the cornerback and everything, and it's just been great.
There's a real physical aspect to playing wide receiver now, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Talk a little bit. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because when the corner will get up on you and he'll try to block you, and it's just very physical when we get there, because that's that 5.
That's before the ball even gets there.
Yeah, that's that 5 yards that you can touch and grab, and so you try to get off, and so you don't. So because if the ball's going to you and you know it's getting to you're getting the ball, you have to make sure that that guy does not touch you at all. And that's what Coach Bobby has taught us, and like to break away, and so we can get to the ball and get yards.
So I'm on the outside, and I'm watching Josh play. What are some of the attributes that you want me to see? Good hands, blocking. What else?
Good hands, blocking, feet work,
Right.
and basically just knowing what you're doing, and so you don't look like a fool.
Right.
Basically.
Well, and you're never a spectator whether that ball's there or not. Okay. So, Matt, you're part of an offensive line. You mentioned that you're part of that. You like that physical one-on-one, but you're part of a group. Talk a little bit about some of your teammates and how you guys are. You know, you have individual assignments, but there's that group as a group.
Oh yeah, we work together, and we're working very well across the line. Yeah, we have Matt Scott and Aaron Huff and our center Tim Mills, and we just very and Kyle is our other guard on the right side, and we're just very physical, and we just try to work together and get what we need to get done and protect our quarterback and running back.
A couple of good wins at home.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that Greenville Rose game, because Greenville comes down every year, and they're physical. They're Greenville. Yeah, you guys handled them pretty well.
Yes, sir. Well, we just kept driving and kept going, hitting them in the mouth and going hard, and it just paid off in the end. So,
can you see that in a team? Can you see as the game wears on that physically? I mean, a team doesn't quit, but you can see where they're just getting tired of getting hit.
Cause basically, sometimes we'll be tired because sometimes most people will stay on the field than be off the field.
Right.
And so we just have that mental toughness that Coach Yeoman teaches us, so we'll keep going, and we'll keep going past that limit that our bodies take, but we'll keep going, basically.
So non-conference is in the rearview mirror. Talk a little bit. You open against North Brunswick, obviously important to get off to a good start.
Yes, sir, and basically, what we do, like always, we'll keep that high intensity, and we'll keep going until that clock says 0, and then we'll see what happens at the end.
First time the offense comes on the field, as an offensive line, what are some of the things that you want to establish on Friday night against North Brunswick?
moving the ball, just keep moving the chains, and like I said, just hitting them in the mouth, and first downs equal touchdowns. So.
And so you don't touch the ball necessarily because you don't want it on the ground, but do you get that satisfaction when either he's in the end zone or,
Yes,
or that
sir.
running back
Big time.
come through?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it pays off. Working hard on the line pays off. You can just protecting our quarterback, giving him time to make the throw, and protecting our running backs, opening the gaps for them. So.
Big expectations for this year?
Yes, sir. We have a lot of expectations towards this team, basically to go 1-0 after every game, and hopefully that's what will happen this season.
Goal is to win conference.
There it is. There it is.
Yes, sir.
Guys, we appreciate you coming in. Grab some pizza before you leave, and good luck on Friday night. All right, home game for Laney against North Brunswick. A good way for the Bucks to kick off conference play this coming Friday night. We'll continue on with Ashley right after this. Welcome back to the program. Let's wind things up with a look at Ashley. And Coach, you go against an East Duplin team that year in and year out, they're always at the top. They're always a very physical team. What you learned about your team coming back from that game on Friday night?
Well, I'll tell you, I have to say, East Duplin, it was a great place to play. I think that's what that town
There's
sets
atmosphere,
up for.
isn't there?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you go up there and that's what they do on Friday night. You look around, there's people in the end zone, bleachers are packed, field is beautiful. It's a real football town. And they have real football players. I mean, they probably had some kids in the backfield that, probably about 6 of them that really looked like men. And, I was expecting us, I think, to be quite honest with you, I think some of our kids might have been intimidated right off the get-go. I was disappointed in that because, win, lose, or draw, I wanted them to come out fighting and have character. And I thought we showed some good stuff and we showed some bad. The good, we made some plays. We started to get momentum. And, the challenge with these guys is that I always challenge them is when things go wrong is how are we going to respond. And I thought we did some good things and, again, some bad things, which we're going to have consequences for today. We got beat up a little bit, have a couple guys injured from it. It's a tough one to go into conference after. But hand it to East Duplin. They're picked. They've won 13 games last year. They're doing a great job. We've got some real good players.
Okay, let's hit the highlights if we can then. Again, a road trip, and you mentioned you've now completed non-conference play.
Yeah, we're going. It was a little blurry. I don't know what's wrong with the picture, guys. Sorry, it wasn't blurry on our highlight. Anyways,
good pursuit there.
Yeah, we had some great. This is a great goal line stop here. We just, you get some great stops, and then all of a sudden, I don't know why that's blurry, but we just seem to lose discipline in some parts, and it may be, a physical issue. And here's Logan Black getting a first down on a good run here. Got a 15-yarder after that for a late hit.
It's part of building a program, having teams put play after play after play together. Because, I mean, you don't want to be in a situation, all you need is that one letdown, all of a sudden it changes.
Right. It is, and I talk to the kids, it's about, in anything you do when you're building a business, a football program, you have to be consistent at what you're doing. And, you have to, if you're not consistent, you're going to lose money or you're going to have big plays scored against you. And so it's a great teaching tool. It's a great play to Freddie Thames out of the backfield. He brings it down to, I think, the 5, and then QB draw, I believe it is. Logan Black brings it in the end zone next play. At the half, I believe it was 17-7. And we felt good. Let's go out and compete. And then we had a couple bad things happen, a couple miscues, and we were down. But, the kids kept going. We got a bunch of kids that want to keep fighting. And I feel really lucky to be a part of what we're doing. That was.
I was about to say, good last 2 yards. He really earned it.
He did. He wanted to get in the end zone. Good sack right here by Grant Grenion, quarterback. Another defensive stand right here. Again, great place to play.
Isn't it amazing how even the high school game has changed? I mean, shotguns, empty backfield, it's the norm now.
That's right, it is. It's the norm. It's no huddling. It's good stop right there. No huddling and doing all this newfangled stuff. So, I was happy some things, and some things we're going to really get after today, and I'm excited to do it. I think the biggest part of coaching is really teaching kids to get better. When you get a loaded team that's already good, you're teaching to win, but you're not teaching as much. And that's one thing of, you know, in my long time of coaching and being on championship teams, not just at Hoggard, I've found that this is so rewarding. It's difficult, but it's neat in that it's harder. And I think anything that's really hard in anyone's life, whatever you do when you get through it and to succeed, and our success may be more of seeing the growth of kids with ourselves, but it's much more rewarding. And I think our kids realize that. I saw them today. I think they look eager to get out there. But there's different ways to handle it. We have a long way to go, and looking forward to next Friday night.
Especially it's a long way to go. You're back on the bus, and you're heading down to West Brunswick.
Yeah, not as long as the last one, but we don't have a home game in September. But we got West Brunswick, we go to South Brunswick, and then we finally get home in October. So, you know, we really need to have a good week of practice. Looking forward to seeing the kids, and we're going to challenge them and see how they respond. That's the main thing, is that we're teaching kids how you're going to handle adversity. Okay, you had a bad one. We're 2-2 right now, so let's go ahead and it's going to be a battle. I know West Brunswick's had a week off, so they're going to be ready.
In the 30 seconds we have left, the first thing you've got to do well Friday to come out of West Brunswick with a win.
We've got to play great special teams and great defense, and then execute on offense. If we do those things and be consistent and disciplined, then we'll have a chance at that.
And it seems like with West Brunswick especially, if you can hold on to the football and not turn it over and give them quick scores, that settles the game down.
Absolutely. That's always the key, is no turnovers, great defense, great special teams, be disciplined, play within what we're teaching, and if we do that, that gives us the best chance to be successful.
Okay, good stuff. Again, all 4 teams in action as we move into conference play this coming Friday night. Go out and support your area high school team, and we'll see you next time here on Sports Roundtable. Good night, everybody.